Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. So you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.
What's up, guys? Big D Wiz, oldschoolstereo.com. Today we're going to look at super powerful 2-channel AB amplifier from Rockford Fosgate Power 1100A2, 1999. Car audio directory says, check it out right here at the top. Power 1100A2 and the C version, which is the Chrome. Better have your wallet fat if you want one of these. The 1100A2 looks like something out of Star Wars at 18.2 inches long by 9.6 inches wide by 2.6 inches high. So the 1998 Power 500.2 was very similar to the 1100A2. You saw the Power 500.2, the chrome ones, earlier in the video in John's SUV. All right, and here we have a Rockford Fosgate brochure from 1999 with a wolf on the front looking mean, saying, "Be afraid of me." Inside, it's got some technologies of the Rockford Fosgate amplifiers, a nice gut shot of the 1100A2, and also it shows the 1100A2 and A2C as the top dogs in the Rockford Fosgate lineup. Now we'll look at the manual from 1999, and we'll check the specs on the 1100A2. It gives two different ones, one at 13.8 volts, with low distortion. You can see those ratings, and then at the top it also gives the dynamic measurement. This is at 14.4 volts to IHF 202 standard. The exterior of these series amplifiers always reminded me of Star Wars. It kind of looks like it has a, kind of like a spaceship. But here are the end bells, and here are the mounting points for the end bells. Some people call these end caps. Either way, just metal end plates that cover up the terminals make a cleaner install. On one end we have speaker left and right. We have a phase warp. What's that all about? Well, according to the manual it says phase warp is a variable control used to adjust the phase of the output signal relative to the phase input signal. The phase warp is most noticeable when a system is playing a sine wave. Blah, blah, blah. So we're going to try that out later in the video, so stay tuned to check that out. Has a crossover frequency adjustment, left gain control, inputs and outputs for RCAs, a right gain control, remote punch bass level, and a crossover switch for high pass, full range, or low pass, and then the right speaker terminal. The opposite end amplifier just has a few things: the power LED, the remote turn on, the B+ positive, and the ground connection. If you look underneath the amp, it shows you, it's easy to realize on these, the B+ is closer to the remote terminal. Now let's hook it up, see what this bad boy sound like. In order to maximize the current flow, we did use 4-gauge to 0-gauge adapters. You can see these here for both power and ground. That way we can make sure this amp is fed all the current that it needs. Alright, here I've got a song that I created on the iPad. I call it OSS Bass Heavy. I'm just going to let you listen to a little bit of it. It thumps pretty good. I think we about made that Infinity woofer jump out of the box.
You big dummy!
Oops. Hope I didn't kill it. Anyway, I'm going to try this on the dyno and see what actual power we get out of the amp using a song. Because I know a lot of times you guys say, oh, do something other than test tones. Well, here you go. All right, now you've seen what this amp's all about. Let's check and see what kind of power it puts out. We're going to perform multiple tests today. First up, we're going to do the stereo test with both channels loaded. Going to start off with a 4 ohm test. All right, Rockford Power 1100A2. Going to do the 4 ohm stereo test using 40 hertz test tone. It's rated 275 by 2. Let's see what it does. Does that wattage easily. 405 watts per channel, 14.2 volts. And we pulled 89 amps of current. Now we'll try up to clipping. 4 ohms, 40 hertz. Again, rated 275 by 2 with low THD. So we'll see what it does up to clipping. $410, 427 watts, so nicely overrated. 14.2 volts, and we pulled 90.1 amps. All right, I didn't catch the dynamic test on video, but I did get a picture. 433 watts per channel at 4 ohms dynamic, 40 hertz. Very nice. Now let's try the 2 ohm test, again stereo, see how the amp does. All right, so at 2 ohm stereo, we're just going to do one test at 40 hertz. The 1% THD certified, rated 550 by 2. Yes, sir, 644, 596. We pulled 162 amps of current. All right, next up, we're going to try the 1 ohm test stereo for this amp. It's not rated to handle 1 ohm loads, but we figured we'd try it anyway, because the Power Series usually can. Let's try the 1% THD 40 hertz. We had some difference here in the channel, 615, 709, so a little bit off there, and we pulled 192.2 amps of current. So next up we decided let's try it uncertified up to clipping at 40 hertz and see if we get any better distinction between the channels, and that's actually worse. 817 and 1277. I did have an issue with the input gain adjustment for one of the channels. I think it was bad, so we'll get that fixed and try it again in the future. 222.5 amps pulled. And now we'll do the dynamic burst, 40 hertz, 1 ohm. Check this out. Now that's some power, my friends. Over 2,500, almost 2,600 watts. 1253, 1357. That actually is over 2,600 watts. Amazing. All right, now we've got the amp bridge mono. We're going to try this out, see how it does mono, and here's how you do it. So 2 outer connections, the left positive and right negative. We'll show you here how we hooked it up with the 8 gauge Stinger Pro Series full copper OFC wire, fit in there nice and tight. Got our RCA's hooked back up. So yeah, let's try it. 4 ohms mono, where it's rated to do 1100 watts at 13.8 volts. So let's run it and see what we get. Crank it on up. Yeah boy. 1273 watts at 4 ohms, 14.36 volts, so we're a little bit higher than their rated 13.8, and we pulled 161 amps of current. Now here is a dyno sheet that I found online, and this is a 2 ohms power test, 1284, so that's 2 ohms per channel, so that's the same as 4 ohms mono. We got very close to that. So now we're going to try 4 ohms up to clipping 40 hertz mono. And check this out. Yes, my friends, 1,488, almost 1,500 watts from an 1,100 watt amplifier, right at 14.4 volts too. We love that. And we pulled 175 amps of current. So make sure you got some power to feed the beast. All right, Rockford Beastly Class AB amp from 1999, the Power 1100A2. Try it dynamically with the kick drum track. 4 ohms mono, 40 hertz.
Have you ever felt
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Right at 1600 watts, 1593 watts, 4 ohms, 14.32. And the fluke says we pulled 182.7 amps of inrush current. So as a comparison to the dynamic ratings of this amplifier, we did the 1 kilohertz test, which is what the IHF 202 certification says. They have it rated at 1460 watts in the manual, and we got 1651 watts. All right, so I've got the dyno set to the 2.67 ohm load. For some reason it appears this 1100A2 doesn't like the 2 ohm mono load certified. I think it's got an issue with one of the potentiometers for the gain. I'm gonna get it replaced because I'm seeing some inconsistencies in the channels. Let's roll with a 40 hertz certified up to 1% THD at 2.67 ohms. See what it does. There we go. That's good power. 1602 watts. Certified 1% THD, 2.67 ohms, 13.8 volts. And yes, make sure you got the current, 205.7 amps, and did not blow 100 amp fuse. Alright, so here's a practical use for this dynamic mode here on the dyno. This song that I created, I'm gonna start it up. It's all bass, just boom, boom, boom. So I'm gonna crank up the Alpine here. We're gonna see what kind of dynamic power the amp puts out at 4 ohms using this track. There you go. So that's real world music playback. Of course, we're using the dyno, so we're using resistors, but still 1510 watts at 14.37 volts. So nice. I decided also to try the 2 ohm mono dynamic burst using the bass track. And oh yeah, she can put out the power. There you go. 2544 watts. 2 ohms, 14.35 volts. So that's using music, not test tones. Another very popular segment of my videos is the amp guts. Let's see what's inside. Oh yeah, warranty void if broken or removed. This amp is 18 years old. Let's remove it. Take out all these screws on the bottom. Let's pull it off and check out these guts. Wow. The Power 1100A2 employs a dual monoblock design coveted by all Class AB amp aficionados. You can see the 4700 microfarad 80 volt rail caps here, the dual large transformers, and the 2200 microfarad 16 volt input filtering caps. Again, look right here, you can check and just kind of split the amp right up the middle, and you can see that it's pretty much equal on both sides, employing that dual monoblock design. You know you couldn't get away without seeing the old school stereo sticker. On to the results. Now I showed you guys a lot of the tests, but I brutalized this amp. I tested it at 1 kilohertz, at 40 hertz, I tested stereo, I tested mono, and it just kept on kicking. Go ahead and pause if you'd like to see the results. These are the 40 hertz results, and across the board, it just killed it. I mean, beat its ratings in every ohm load. And here's the 1 kilohertz test. Again, did stereo, mono, all different kind of tests, even down to 1 ohm mono. So it's pretty incredible. Appreciate you guys watching as always, sharing my videos, all that good stuff. Make sure you're subscribed. More good stuff coming in the future. This is Big D Wiz, oldschoolstereo.com. Until next time, I'm out of here. All right, we're going to try the 40 hertz dynamic track with the Rockford Power 1100A2. 1 ohm mono. This is dumb. Very dumb. But let's try it. Holy crap, look at that. 3,724 watts at 14.2 volts. Almost 4 kW from an 1100 watt old school amp. This amp is older than some of the people watching this video.
See that? Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's old school. Yeah? No school like the old school.
All right, got the Power 1100A2 here on the dyno. And I was reading the manual and it talked about this phase warp that's right beside the crossover frequency. And it said that adjusting this could help with sine waves or whatever. So I don't know. I said, let's try it and see. We got 40 hertz test tone. Let's try 4 ohms mono. It's rated to do 1100 watts. So let's see if it makes any difference. Well, it does appear to make somewhat difference. 1,334 watts. 4 ohms at 14.1. Current 152.2 amps.